We see the effective Fed funds rate unchanged on June 21st at 1.58%.
Test. Hello. Hi all, and welcome to another edition of Midday Market Review by TraderCast, live trading, key trading levels and trading setups for popular markets. My name is Phil and I'll be your presenter today. So I'll just say hi all. For those of you who are watching this for the first time, my name is Phil. This is a little bit about myself. Over the past 10 years, I had the privilege of speaking in front of various different industry events and teach many people how to trade. If you're looking for the education, you're brand new to this, you can check out my trading skills. Some of my courses are there completely free. Check them out, see if they help. Since I'll be talking about some live trades here, and I'll be showing you some live trades as well, I want to explain that what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to provide you with a hands-on, real-time application of what I firmly believe a novice trader should be able to do. Very basic price action trading, trend following, pattern recognition, reading the chart, reading the price, no indicators, no specific trading strategies or complicated trading strategies, just a very simplistic approach to trading. So these are my opinions and experiences only. Now I have a single trade open. For those of you who watched yesterday's session, you knew I was short at 37.40 S&P, and then I moved my stop loss at break even, and then I got triggered at the open. I got stopped out with nothing, and then I was looking for oil and gold, and that didn't happen. Okay, I missed the gold trade. That was my fault. But oil just didn't happen. Oil actually reversed, but I had the opportunity to short sell S&P again at 37.60, which is what I did, and I have that position open at the moment. I'll show you that position. My stop loss is currently below my entry level. This is a swing type trade, which I will be keeping open for a while, for a number of hours, if I'm lucky, maybe even a day. And I might be looking to take some partial profits as I go along. So that's where I am with my trades at the moment. Okay, let me just show you that trade setup straight away, and then we can go and talk about the economic data and how that's driving the markets today, and what to look out for as well. So here we go. This is the S&P trade. Sorry, let me just move that down. Apologies, I should have, yeah, like that. So that's quite clear. So I decided to go short again at 37.60. It was actually yesterday afternoon. I was in a losing trade for a while again, and then when the markets closed, I kept this position open with the appropriate stop loss, which was above here. It was higher, it's about 30 odd points higher. And then eventually overnight we saw this selling pressure, and now we are in here. So my stop currently is below my entry, so I'm in the money here. This is the
Fed
current
target here says we need to get neutral 2.5% quickly. That's via Yahoo Finance. Fed's Harker says we need to get to neutral 2.5% quickly.
This is the current unrealized P&L.
Says we should be above 3% by end of the year.
And I was looking for take profit down here, about 100 points below, towards 36.60, which is quite a decent risk to reward ratio.
Fed Target says 75 basis point rate hike helps us get to neutral stance.
even from initial 30 point of risk, 100 points of gain, 3.3 to 1. So really happy with that. But I'll be looking to take some partial profit. So these clusters of the highs, you can see what happened.
So Harker, just to repeat, that says 75 basis point increase helps us get to a neutral stance.
Okay, bounce, and now we're seeing another leg lower. So let's see how the market's open in about half an hour, and then I will react to that and decide on what to do. Loss of these lows, selling pressure, loss of these lows would likely encourage me to keep this position open, and I will then move my stop loss lower.
So it's not ready to make a decision on whether July should be 75 or 50.
That's where I am at the moment with S&P. Okay, so before we start, let's go and check out anything that could be of interest to you.
So Harker goes on to say if demand softens quicker than he expects, 50 basis point hike for July may be good.
Crude oil is selling off quite heavily now, and I'll explain. Okay, I'll explain all of that in more detail a little bit later. I'll talk about gold as well. This is the daily time frame trend, loss of trend. I was a buyer down here, or I was looking for a buying opportunity there. Let me put it that way. But that was support, support, support.
Parker now says need to move to a restrictive stance. Data to dictate how.
And now we're seeing the selling pressure, therefore a loss of support, so that's now a resistance. Point of control was this area here at 105, major support down here at the cluster of these lows at 99.30 or 99.
Parker says starting to see signs of demand softening, which is what we want to bring economy into a safe position.
This appears to be a trend reversal or an attempted trend reversal in a kind of longer term time frame, as long as the price stays below 108.50. Bears are now in control, so I would be looking to see if we see an oversold rally for a shorting opportunity or a loss of lows for a shorting opportunity. With crude oil, that's where I am in at the moment. I have nothing open, and just leaving it run. Okay, top 5 things we should know before we start trading. Grim outlook. The probability of global economic recession is approaching 50% as supply shocks continue to spur inflation and drive growth lower, according to Citigroup. Bank a soft or a softish landing is possible, but will require supply shocks to wane and
so
demand
Harker goes on to say
resilient.
Inflation could still be north of 5% next year, then down to 2.5% the following year. Could have a couple of negative GDP quarters.
A recession, if one were to occur, would likely be a garden variety type, with unemployment rising several percentage points. Meanwhile, Yardeni research believes that contraction isn't inevitable, and even if we get one, it may be short and shallow. So that's the bit. Housing trouble, decades high global yields.
Crypto commentary here. India's panel to maul imposing sales tax on crypto transactions. So that's India panel looking at imposing sales tax on crypto transactions.
Decades high global yields are continuing to stress housing markets across the world. Bloomberg own ranking of at-risk property markets has New Zealand at the top, with the US not too far behind. The US saw stimulus-fueled boom in housing akin to the bubble that was seen prior to the great financial crisis. But it is now coming off the boil. Mortgage rates are closing on 6%, the highest in 15 years in US, which is causing a collapse in new home sales.
To rise significantly above 4%.
While existing home sales yesterday slipped to an almost 2-year low. Now, Tax holiday. President Joe Biden will call on Congress to enact a gasoline tax holiday. A person familiar with the plan says he looks to cool pump pricing, hovering around $5 a gallon. $5 for a gallon of fuel. I would be happy to pay that all day long. I'm paying €2.20 almost, €2.10 per liter, which is crazy. But anyway, so meanwhile, WTI oil tumbled towards...
Italian bonds extending rally. 10-year yield dropping 20 basis points now to 3.5%.
Towards 102 per barrel, echoing last week's retreat amid prospective tax holiday and concerns that US may be heading for a recession. So basically, perceived dip in demand. Stocks are lower. Equity indices erased the week's gains with heavy losses across much of the Europe in early morning trade. Euro Stock 600 dropped. S&P futures, which is a US index, declined. Mining and energy stocks were the standout laggards.
Harker goes on to say that we are going to continue to have a tight labour market in his view.
UK bonds outperformed after another eye-watering high inflation print. Energy and metals trade poorly. And Bitcoin slid before finding support near 20,000. Now, coming up from the economic data, Fed Jerome Powell is in the spotlight today. He will deliver his semi-annual monetary policy testimony to the Senate Banking Committee at 9:30 a.m. US time. Fed speakers include Thomas Barkin, you are listening to what he's saying, Charles Evans, and Patrick Harker. President Biden will speak about gas prices and Putin's price hike in quotation mark at 2 o'clock in the afternoon US time, with expectations that he will call on Congress to enact gasoline tax holiday. Economic calendar data is relatively light. We had a Canadian inflation just came out now, so we had a bit of a volatility in dollar CAD after that was released. But I think the big news was relating to a UK inflation, which came in at, get ready for this, 9.1. Previous reading was 9, so this inflation is moving higher, and UK is definitely noticing that. So we're seeing a bit of a oversold bounce back in sterling dollar. FTSE is not doing much. It's kind of a sideways consolidation here in FTSE. This is a 15-minute time frame. We had a bit of a pullback up until this morning, and when the markets opened, really nothing, just going sideways. I'll check out FTSE and provide you with some key trading levels. But apart from that, very, very little. Gold is moving higher, 1841. I was looking at gold at 1835, missed that, and now I have to wait for a pullback to a better level to buy, or maybe a breakout to the upside, and I'll talk about all of that in a bit. Okay. So where are we now? Fed Harker. He is talking. Guys, for those of you who
says the balance sheet shrinkage is essentially on autopilot.
For those of you who are watching, hopefully you can hear me and see me okay, and let me know if you need something covered. I can see there's a few people in the community as well watching, and that's always good. Hey Patrick, always good to see you. Okay, so let me see, where are we? I'm just gonna go and show you this crude oil again, because this is continuously, I'm sorry, didn't mean to do that. continuously pushing lower for crude. This is a daily time frame price chart for crude oil. Point of control level is at 105.26. So for those of you who are brand new, point of control is basically no man's land. It's like a line in the front. Okay, front, like a war front, like a front line, which means that if the price rallies from here and rejects, then it's likely that sellers will return and look to short sell. If we see a break above 105.20, then potentially we could see another leg higher towards 108, which is this longer term consolidation. These two levels are quite important from the trend line point of view, because we have high, lower high, lower high. So if I connect these very roughly, so there's a nice touch here, there's two touches here, this is close but not exactly, but it brings us to that kind of zone of interest. So we have daily rising trend line, which was support, support, support. Now it's resistance. We also have falling resistance trend line, and also if I take a basic fib from here to here, you can see that this is coming into this 23 and 38% fib as well. So a cluster of different, so horizontal trend line, rising trend line support, now resistance, falling trend line resistance, and also the fib cluster. So a number of things pointing to this area being an area of interest. The other alternative is a dip, continuous selling pressure, and a dip below 99.30 would then open the way for a severe selling pressure to the downside, targeting lower levels. And the way that could play out is as it was initially set up on the chart. We could see a loss of support, then a little bit of a retest, i.e. bounce, and then another leg lower. But this is a significant area of interest, definitely significant area of interest for crude oil
here from
the bearish point of view.
Germany will be equipping armies so it can defend itself and partners against all attacks. So Germany is taking responsibility not just for own security but also of that of its allies. Knowing NATO partners in Eastern Europe can rely on Germany as well, noting the summit will sign the sign of cohesion and determination. As well, there's geopolitical news here from German Chancellor Scholz, knowing that Germany will be supporting Ukraine financially and with weapons as long as this needs, as well noting that they're still far from negotiations between Ukraine and Russia, as Putin still believes in a dictated peace. They add as well that the EU must prepare for ascension of new members with forms of internal structures and procedures, and knowing that Russia and China will step into gap if the West does not show solidarity to Global South. Confident they will be setting a climate club on track at the upcoming G7 summit.
Okay. So the other thing that's of interest is obviously US equities. I talked to you about already about that position that I have in S&P. So that's open. Quite happy with that. It's doing well. So where am I now? Sorry, my chart moved. So that's still open. I know some people joined probably late, didn't join from the beginning, but I'm currently short S&P, and my stop is below my entry. My take profit would be down here at the cluster of these lows. So quite happy with this. I'm holding it. We have about 12 minutes. We have about 12 minutes before the US markets, cash US markets open. And I would like to see how the price reacts. So if we see a selling pressure, selling pressure, selling pressure at the open, and the loss of these lows at 36.95 or 36.90, that would encourage me to keep this position open and potentially look for the lower levels. This area would also be an area of interest, so 37 even or 36.90, so about 10 points in here, would likely encourage me to take maybe even a partial profit and then move the stop loss lower, to lock in some unrealized gains. But my ultimate take profit would be down here. My limit is down here. I would really like to see push to that level. So currently I'm keeping this open and I'm monitoring how the markets might behave at the open. For those of you who watched yesterday's session,
just over 10 minutes away now to the bottom of the hour, so with the US cash equity open for the day. As well, the key event for today is Fed Chair Powell will be delivering his semi-annual monetary policy testimony before the Senate Banking Committee. There's no indication if a text will be released here from Fed's Powell, but we'll be on watch at the bottom of the hour for the release of the opening statement. So quick note here from TDS, they're not expecting Powell to deviate too much from the guidance provided after last week's Fed meeting. In particular, they're expecting Powell to double down on his efforts to tackle high inflation and make the case for the Fed's decision to adopt a more hawkish policy stance. With that said, they note that the Q&A sessions with lawmakers can lead the chairman to share more candid views regarding the economic outlook.
Apologies. Let me see. Test. Yeah, this is working. For those of you who watched yesterday's session, you know I was short S&P ahead of the open yesterday at 37.40, I believe, and then I moved my stop at break even when the markets opened, and then I was stopped out. With break even. So I will definitely not do that today. I will get out of this position quicker if I see the markets rally at the open. Now, the other thing that I should be covering today very briefly is gold. So what we talked about in gold was that gold was potentially setting up for a nice bullish breakout higher, and this was the yesterday's analysis. So I was expecting to see rally and a breakout from here, and instead what happened, we saw a reversal and
coming
loss.
Through now from S&B's Jordan, that inflation is broader than just energy prices.
Loss, and now this is this looks like a potential breakout to the upside. So this is the 4-hourly candle. This is the hourly candle, the first hourly candle that's actually broken to the upside. What I would like to do is I would like to see if I get the chance to re-enter again. So I would like to see if I get the chance to possibly a pullback to that 1835, 1837
S&B's Jordan as well, noting inflation data shows the need to
and
tighten monetary policy further. Unclear when, though.
So that would be an area of interest for me. So we have resistance here, resistance, breakout. You can see there was a selling pressure here initially, and then this is the first candle that broke. So, so let's see how this plays out. I don't have anything open at the moment.
So Jordan noting that the S&B may need to hike rates again. To repeat that, that's S&B's Jordan, that the S&B may need to hike rates again.
Okay, I'm going to have a little limit order there, just going to have it and see how that plays out. But I would like to see if I can get a clear price action reversal and then touch of that 1837. So that's a good level. That's a really good level. If that happens and we see a continuation to the upside, then I'm looking for this area here. It's the same area as the one that I was looking at yesterday as a potential take profit area. Apologies, let me just try and move this towards 1865. Stop to the downside is about 5.5 to 10 points lower, depending how generous you feel or how how much you have in your trading account and how much you wish to risk. But I wouldn't be risking more than 1% on this. So I'm looking for a fairly tight stop. But from the risk to reward ratio point of view, decent. So if it's a 10-point risk for potentially 30 points of gain, 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio, happy with that. I'm just leaving it open. I have nothing open at the moment. This is the hourly now reversing. This is the 15-minute reversing. I want to see what happens when the price gets here, if it gets there, and then if I get a reversal like that. Just see, no questions. Yeah, I can see people dipping in and out. There's quite a few people watching this, which is good. Now, just a very quick recap on where we are with S&P, because this is open and I just want to make sure this is managed properly. So S&P, I'm short currently. My stop was above here, about 30 points higher, and I moved it at break even. Now it's below my entry, so I'm trying to lock in about 15 points on this trade. This is unrealized P&L, and I'm looking at these lows here. So what I would like to see is I would like to see a dip lower, a loss of these lows, a retest from underneath for potential continuation further down towards 36.60. If I see a rally at the open and a push higher, then I will likely close partially this position and also move my stop lower to protect my take profit, or I might even close all of that position very quickly, just in the case. So let me just do that. I'm going to lock in about 23 points on this trade. 23 points on this trade. So if I see, if I'm speaking or something unforeseen happen and there's a big spike, I want to walk away with something. I want to walk away with something. It's a decent position. It's a great entry, and I'm keeping it open. Now, for some of you who are watching this saying, oh, should I be shorting now? It's not the same setup. So two ways to enter in this trade. Actually, I'll show you this on a different chart because that might be a little bit easier for you to understand. Because the black one keeps printing the data, so it's not really visible. But here we go. So there was a loss.
So it's 3 minutes ago now to wait to hear from Fed Chair Powell, again delivering the semi-annual monetary policy testimony before the Senate Banking Committee. We have posted a link to watch the event live onto our board.
So that's a resistance. Yesterday I was looking for a loss and a continuation. Instead, what happened is market did that at the open. So possibly we could see the same today. But this here is encouraging because we have support, loss of support, and continuation selling pressure. So there is a horizontal here: low, high, 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 low, low. So kind of the change of resistance and support, there. So that area is definitely of interest. 37, 20, 22. And I'm looking at this area here with a significant interest, and the reason why I'm doing that is because when I open this in a shorter term time frame, so here we go, it's doing the same thing, what we had yesterday. It's going to rally at the open. So this was a rising wedge. So there's high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, spike and lower high. So this is a loss of support, and now this looks like a retest, of these highs. If the price is to reverse, it should be reversing from here fairly quickly. We have 2 minutes. We have 2 minutes to open, and the price is pushing
1 minute to go
higher.
now.
So 1 minute. Here we go. 1 minute. Let's see how this develops, but it really does need to start reversing Otherwise, if we see a breakout and a push higher, I would very likely, very likely get out of my position, or I might even get stopped out while I'm talking. And the reason, sorry, the last thing that I wanted to show you is the reason why this is actually quite tradable is that people who tend to trade this, they would take the distance of the breakout from the previous consolidation, this, and then they would extend that, sorry, didn't mean to do that, they would extend that at the loss of support, and then that gives them projected target. So it's like a symmetry.
10 seconds.
So the same move, retracement, another same move. So same percentage point move, or a move in the same number of points. That's most of the people tend to do that. So it's
Fed's
almost
Powell
like
noting as well that the US economy is very strong, can handle tighter policy, while the Fed strongly committed to returning inflation to 2% when ongoing hikes are appropriate and decisions meeting by meeting. So again, to repeat the main points there from Fed's Powell, noting the Fed is strongly committed to returning inflation to 2% while ongoing hikes are appropriate while decisions are being made meeting by meeting. US economy is very strong and handle tighter policy. Again, just repeating there from Powell, the pace of rate increases to depend on incoming data, and the Fed needs to be nimble in responding to data and outlook. As well, in the US political space, comments from US Trade Chief Tai currently speaking as well that the administration is working with allies against China on fair trade practice. The US must develop new tools to defend economic interests, Tai says.
So far, challenging open for me. This is a 15-minute time frame price. This is a 5. So look, it's breaking out higher. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of this position. So I'm going to close 30 contracts and do that. So this is reduced now to 20, and my stop is at this level here. So I took almost just over half of my position because I don't like this reversal. The same thing happened yesterday. I was short yesterday, and then I got stopped out with nothing. Got stopped out with break even because my stop was at entry. Today is a slightly different thing. My stop is below entry, but I don't like this. I might get stopped out here, and at least I took partial profits, and I'm going to be stopped out with some additional profit here as well. The position is not as profitable as it was when it was down here or down here, but there we go. Come on, pick me up. I'm nearly there. Take my stop. It's just messing with me at the moment. Yeah, there we go. Gone. So my stop is picked up, and I got out here. So I'm flat. I have nothing open. I'm no longer in this trade. Yeah, it's all gone. But here we go. Let me just, apologies. Let me just update that quickly. So I closed what's wrong with me? My keyboard is sticky. Closed, I'll say half and half, that's easier to understand, but it's actually, I had a 50 per point on this one, but I'll close 30 at 37.28. And another half, which was a stop loss at 37 half, but call it 37. So I'm out of this position. It could have been better, but look, at least I walked away with something, and I'm happy the way I managed it. I'm happy the way I managed it at the moment. So gold is coming to very close. Look, it came very close to where I was looking to get in. Came very close to 1835. So that's a breakout and a retest. It's only a 15-minute candle. Let's see how it finishes.
Deserting to French political news now, and French President Macron said to be holding a televised address to the French nation at 8 o'clock Paris time, so that'll be at 7 o'clock London time. Turning to Russia now, and IFX reporting that Putin has signed a decree on temporary procedures on fulfilling Russia's foreign debt obligations.
I want to see how this 15-minute candle opens. Oh, sorry, completes. We still have about 9 minutes for this candle to complete, but it looks like it's dip buying here, which is quite good. Quite good. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about very quickly. I don't know how many of you are interested in Dow Jones, how many of you were interested in DAX, because Caraldo was talking about it the other day, and we had this setup here, which was a bearish setup. The entry level or key trading level or point of control, if you want to call it, was at 13,400, which was a multiple layer of evidence approach. Yet again, trend, downtrending, lower highs. Who's in charge? Bears. So what do we do in downtrending market? We look to short sell. We don't buy. Where do we enter? We enter at the retest of resistance or the loss of support. So here we go, retest of resistance. Yet again, this was all set up before all of this happened. This here also is horizontal, this also is a trend line, and this also is 61.8 fib retracement from swing high to swing low. And then we saw a bearish engulfing reversal, and off it goes lower. Then the second chance to enter this trade was here. Loss of support and a retest, loss of support and a retest for another leg lower, which is what we got here. How far can this go? Well, if you take the distance from the previous consolidation and extend that to the downside, that gives you a rough take profit area, which is what happens here. So symmetrical moves in the market. So I don't mean to be repeating this, and if I'm boring to some of you, I'm really sorry, but I don't mean to be making this as an educational channel. If you're looking for that, you can go and check out my trading skills. Most of the courses are free. See if you like how we teach, and if you like what we do. So now there's a little mini version, mini setup here, which looks basically it's the same thing, just a much smaller version of it as well. So how can this be played? In the same way. Look, lower highs. So where is the trend line? Well, here is the trend line. Who is more dominant? Bears. What do we do in short in the bearish market? Look to short sell. Where would we like to short sell? Well, a couple of positions. So first one is roughly where we are now, but the markets, the market participants really need to come here and start reversing this. So previous low, horizontal. Now let me do the same thing as I did before. I'll do the same thing as I did before. So okay, I'll just delete it and draw another one. And if I go and do that, and if I take the fib from high to low, so my mouse is really gone mad. Okay, let's do again. Low to high, 61.8. So it's identical setup as the one here, just smaller version. Trend to the downside, trend line, horizontal, fib retracement, and the pattern, all in play. So the same setup we had last week on a number of markets. It's identical. And then again, I'm saying this is what I think. This is a practical application of what novice traders should be or could be able to do if they invested a little bit of time in learning and practicing how to do this. So it's a very basic, very basic approach to trading and so on. So what to do here is either look for a reversal here or the loss of this support, a retest from underneath for another leg lower. Now obviously this is a shorter term trade, then we could have a stop up here and take profit down here. So if we enter at 13,070 or if we enter at 13,040 to the downside with a stop above of about 40, 50, 60 points, and then we're looking to take profit down here, the cluster of these lows at 12,970. From the risk to reward ratio point of view, let's say 30-40 point of risk for where are we now? If it's 1340 down to 12,970, 70, let's say 70, 60, 70 points of gain. So almost like 2 to 1 or 2.5 to 1 risk to reward ratio. And that's where we are with the DAX. Currently I have nothing open. What would change my mind if I see a push higher and a breakout above this area here, retest from above, then all bets are off. Then we could see a short squeeze and a push higher. So in that case, you don't want to be in this position. I wouldn't want to be in this position. So that's what I'm trying to say. And here we are. So that's DAX. There's a bit of a volatility at the moment with US dollar, euro dollar moving higher, cable, sterling dollar moving higher, dollar yen slightly lower. Trading Indian, I'm long Dow Jones at the moment from 30,130. Okay, well done, good luck. Yeah, there we go, gold. I had my limit order down here at 1835 and I wasn't picked up, so there's no open position. So the price came close on my platform here. 1835.60 or thereabout. And then look, it did all of that. Went without me, but yeah, it was based on the analysis that we talked about: breakout, retest, and potentially move higher, which was based on this premise: breakout, full hourly candle, a retest, and then another leg higher, possibly towards this area here. Cluster of the highs, and then this area here would be of interest, but it went without me. Oh, well done. Okay. Well done. Where are we now? Canadian inflation rate gallops to near 40-year high, calls for supersized rate hike amount. Okay. Dollar CAD is doing that. So Canadian dollar is strengthening against the US dollar. Now let's talk about cable as well very quickly, because of that UK inflation. UK inflation came in very, very high, 9.1. The trend in sterling dollar is to the downside. Here we go. Lower highs. Oversold bounce back. The key trading level at the moment is at 1.2340, which is this area here. That's also a resistance. If the price breaks through here and does something like that, then potentially we could see extension to the upside towards 124.70, which is a cluster of these lows. I was speaking to some colleagues and friends in UK, and most of them are saying that that finding it more and more difficult with various different things. There's a huge amount of stories about people who are waiting on mortgage approvals or refinancing deals or something, that they're being withdrawn. They're almost agreed and then ready to sign, and then the banks would, or building societies, banks would remove them and change the rate ahead of Bank of England rate decision. And now this inflation at 9.1 will definitely not help with mortgages. We were talking about mortgages in US being at 6%.
Looking to the UK now, and some research coming through from Bank of America. They note their UK consumer confidence indicator improved 1 point in the past 6 weeks, but remains very weak.
Alternatively, if we see a push lower, loss of these lows, a daily close below 120, 180, that would open the way for continuous selling pressure, and then retest of these lows at 119.60. But this potentially looks like a short squeeze and a push higher for cable. I have nothing open in cable at the moment. Is there anything else you want to see, guys? Is there anything else you want to check out?
Just over 10 minutes away now to the top of the hour. We do have the preliminary June reading for Eurozone consumer confidence, a reading of minus 20.5 expected versus the prior drop of 21.1. We're seeing a range of minus 23 to minus 19.3 today.
Trading Indian. So this is where I want to get in. 1835. What I want to do is, I was looking at this breakout here. So this is sideways consolidation, bullish here, looking for a spike higher. In 4 hourly looked good. This is the hourly, so hourly candle completed. And then when we were doing the analysis, I was looking for a pullback to here for a buying opportunity. So I was looking for this to happen and then rally. This candle here did actually go down to that level. So this is a 5 minute now. But unfortunately, look, it came very, very close to 18. I had 1835. I could have had a slightly different level, but the price came down, and look how many people were filled, and then off it goes. So it basically went up without me. So unfortunately, that's it. Yeah. Okay. Good luck as well. Good luck as well. Unfortunately, yeah, it didn't happen for me. Did I delete my gold chart? Yeah, that's what I did. By mistake. Never mind, I'll just reset another one. Okay, guys, it was lovely talking to you all. Thank you all for watching and listening. Stay safe, happy trading, and I'll speak to you all tomorrow. Tomorrow is my last no, it's tomorrow, Friday, is my last day. I'll be stepping away for a couple of weeks, and then I'll be back with you again after that. But yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Thanks. Bye.